Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Tuesday, April 21st, and we're here with what you might say is one of the heroes of the coronavirus pandemic in the educational world, a brave teacher and a terrific teacher, Mrs. Bushhouse, a classroom teacher here at Riverside. Mrs. Bushhouse, thanks for being with us.
It's nice to be here, Andrew.
Uh, Obviously, there's nothing been like this ever in the world. But from an educational standpoint, can you talk about the energy and enthusiasm to teach and learn that still exists between students and teachers?
Yeah, I think we had to all really search and dig deep into our souls to find out what really is the reason why we teach and to just capture that again, because it clearly wasn't going to be able to look like it did normally. And so the energy and the passion comes from still wanting to connect to our students, even though they weren't in our classrooms, somehow finding a way to keep those bonds and those relationships going over the Zooming sessions or in the one-on-one meetups.
Very good. There still seems to be, even in an online virtual setting, some nice interaction between you and your students and other teachers and their students. Have you found that to be true?
Yes, and I think we've had to be creative in how we kind of intentionally created the atmosphere where students were able to work collaboratively and cooperatively online. It's difficult because there is a bit of a lag time, so when kids start talking or the teacher's talking, it's kind of crazy sometimes. But we've learned some etiquette, and we've also learned, because we honor each other in our classrooms, that we want to make sure that other people have an opportunity to share. So I've really seen where the kids have stepped up and really shown a lot of respect for their peers and for me.
Right. There just seems to be great support from everyone with a touch point to Riverside. Have you found that to be true during this time?
Yeah, I definitely think that teachers have reached out to each other to find support, but it's just really encouraging to find a little message from a parent online or open up your email and find out how appreciative they are. So in the time when it really feels like you're a brand new teacher, even if you've been teaching for a long time, to know that somebody is deeply grateful, I think that's very motivating. I think the administration has worked very hard to make sure that we have the tools that we need, that we feel supported, and also that if we have any questions at all, we can reach out within a virtual community, not only in our school, but also within the independent schools or within the state. Mm-hmm.
It looks like your students, even in a, like you said, we talked about it in a virtual online setting, are just having a nice book discussion. Tell us more.
Yes. Well, we just finished up Walk Two Moons. It's a Newbery Medal winner, written by Sharon Creech, and it's just really a delightful novel that has several different themes about growing up and the joys and sorrows of life. And the children found it fascinating because she really wove into here a lot of mysteries. And they're very age-appropriate mysteries, as one student said. They aren't full of murder. That's right. And so it was a delightful, child-friendly book. And it gave us an opportunity to do a lot of inferencing and working on skills that frequently students find troublesome. So it was a very fun and engaging way to do that.
Neat.
Yep.
And how long have you been a teacher?
This is my 9th year of teaching.
Very good. And how many years at Riverside?
This is my 2nd year at Riverside.
Oh, very good. It seems like the strength of the Riverside family has really, I was talking about Riverside being a family. It seems like that family atmosphere has really shown through during these trying times. I'm just wondering if you can talk about that and if you found that to be the case.
Yeah, and I think family is a good word. The Riverside community is a family, and families bond in good times and they bond in difficult times. And so this unusual, unforeseen circumstance has given us an opportunity to take those relationships that we've taken the time to develop over the last year or the school year or even longer than that, and reach out to each other and to support each other like a family would, making us better. It's almost like we're battle buddies, kind of weathering the storm together.
Right. Could you talk about a little bit about how you're making good use of technology to help with your lessons?
Yeah, so the technology is really dependent upon teacher, and I have science, and so we have a number of online resources that I use that also students can use at home, which I think are really the best resources. I also have some websites that I've had the older science students use to go and create infographics, and just trying to take what would be applicable to their age range, and also that would affect their future, that it would have, and they'd have an opportunity to use it more than once. That if it's going to take a lot of time to learn to use something, you might as well get a lot of value out of it. So, and then with language arts, we've just spent a lot of time sharing screens back and forth so that students are allowed to share their work. They can see the work that I'm doing. For our population, that whole visual learning is very important.
I know that feedback from parents and students has really, really been positive. Can you talk about that a little bit? I think somebody mentioned that somebody with kids at other schools say that Riverside is the envy of their of their school about how smoothly we've transitioned. Have you found that to be correct?
Well, I think Riverside as a cultural place to work, a professional culture of Riverside, is you have a lot of dedicated individuals who truly do love their students and are willing to work above and beyond to keep the relationship strong between home and school. And so I think that does uniquely set us apart. And conversely, when other schools aren't able to do that, either because they have larger numbers of students or there are some other issues with technology, it just makes it more difficult. So I feel very blessed that we have all the resources that we need for our students, and with a smaller number of students, we're able to meet at separate times, we are able to do small groups, which would be very difficult to do with larger classrooms. So that also is unique to Riverside. So I'm very pleased that that has really helped instruction online.
Well, terrific. What will you remember about this time, do you think?
What will I remember? Well, I found myself saying that necessity is the mother of invention. And I have also found myself saying, wait, how do I make this stop? So the whole idea that just had to be extremely flexible within every moment. As anybody who uses technology knows, it isn't always foolproof, and it doesn't always do what it says it's going to do. Mm-hmm. So being present in the moment and trying to make sure to keep the important things big and the less important things small has definitely marked this time period.
Right. It's been important, I think, and probably you think for everyone to support each other, and it seems like that's been true, especially here at Riverside.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And we can always reach out to each other, and again, we meet up, we have virtual meetings, faculty meetings, much more frequently than we did before, to provide support to each other and to just find out what's working so that we can always try to maintain best practices. And that's our goal, is to stay as true as we can to the Orton-Gillingham approach without those in-classroom experiences that have made it multisensory. So we're really trying to work with this, trying to keep the multisensory going.
Very good. Mrs. Bushhouse, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For everything you're doing. And all the teachers at Riverside. Thanks.
You're welcome.